Is JD Vance, Donald Trump's 2024 running mate, weird? Depends on who you ask, but his marriage to lawyer Usha Vance is definitely unusual. First up, a weird and disturbing flip-flop from both of the Vances. Usha was once a registered Democrat, and in 2016, JD described her as a Hillary Clinton supporter.
Wow.
According to a friend who spoke to the Washington Post, Usha still hadn't boarded the Trump train as of 2021, as she was deeply disturbed by his support of the January 6th insurrectionists.
But that was a day of love.
JD wasn't always Trump's biggest fan either, to put it mildly. In a 2024 interview with the New York Times, he was asked to explain why he had gone from calling Trump America's Hitler to being his running mate. JD said he had come to see The Apprentice host as the solution to America's woes, not a contributor to them. He had also concluded that Trump's divisive rhetoric was a valuable tool. While Usha dutifully joined her husband on the campaign trail and spoke at the RNC, maybe she never fully embraced all things MAGA. During a Fox and Friends interview, she hinted that she doesn't agree with all of JD's political views.
We come to different conclusions all the time, but that's part of the fun of being married.
Next up, a catty JD comment goes viral, and Usha's attempt at damage control just makes things weirder. When a 2021 comment JD made about childless women resurfaced in 2024, Usha tried to help on Fox and Friends, but she never addressed what her husband actually said.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives.
The reality is, he made a quip in service of making a point that he wanted to make that was substantive, and it had actual meaning.
Usha said that people were taking JD's words out of context, so she provided her own.
What he was really saying is that it can be really hard to be a parent in this country.
What JD was plainly arguing in that Tucker Carlson Tonight appearance was that politicians with kids, such as himself, should be given more of a say in how the country is run than miserable, childless cat ladies. Usha's spin completely changed the meaning of her husband's remarks, but the damage was already done.
It is bizarre. It's weird.
Next up, a revealing slip of the tongue that weirdly aligns the Vances with the Trumps. JD raised a few eyebrows in 2024 when it seemed to escape his mind that he is a father. He was discussing his family's church-going habits with the New York Times when he said of his wife, "She's got 3 kids." He seemed to quickly realize his error, adding, "Obviously, I help with the kids." His remarks were similar to a slip-up Donald Trump once made. In reference to his wife Melania, Donald said in 2019,
She's got a son together that is a beautiful young man.
On X, body language and emotional intelligence expert Dr. Jack Brown called such wording an example of, quote, significant distancing behaviors. JD has made a few other cringeworthy comments about his children. While praising how well-behaved the kids in the crowd were, at a 2024 rally, he joked,
Maybe I should trade you my kids for a couple of weeks. You can knock some sense into them.
Next, the Vances alienate their shared alma mater over their ideological flip-flopping. Usha and JD met at Yale Law School, and it seems it wasn't JD's wit or charm that impressed his future wife.
I liked that he, was very diligent.
Usha also praised JD's punctuality.
Well, thank you.
However, some of the Yale alumni they were once friendly with really don't approve of their MAGA turn. Speaking to the Washington Post about Usha, one former classmate said, "Am I surprised to see her there to support a man who seems to be building political power by punching down at trans folks and immigrants? Yeah, that part caught me off guard." Another ex-classmate revealed that their long friendship with JD ended over his anti-trans views.
That was incredibly hurtful, and I communicated that to him.
50 of their ex-classmates raised money for the targets of JD's hateful rhetoric after he vilified Haitian migrants living in Springfield, Ohio. When making his donation, one former classmate wrote, "With love and a prayer that JD and Usha find the moral strength to reverse the course of their lives." Next, JD admits to anger issues and how carefully Usha has to navigate them. In the memoir-turned-film Hillbilly Elegy, JD wrote that Usha once said to him, "Whenever something bad happens, even a hint of disagreement, you withdraw completely. It's like you have a shell that you hide in." JD also admitted that he has taken his anger out on Usha by yelling at her, comparing himself to a ticking time bomb, writing, "Even at my best, I'm a delayed explosion. I can be diffused, but only with skill and precision. It's not just that I've learned to control myself, but that Usha has learned how to manage me." Finally, JD's old comments catch up to him, revealing the weird hypocrisy at the heart of his relationship with Usha. JD has a history of denigrating childless women who prioritize their careers. There's the childless cat ladies comment and several other examples, including what he said during a 2021 appearance on the Moment of Truth podcast. When making his point, he singled out childless, career-driven women who went to school at Yale, as he and Usha did.
That is actually a path to misery.
He argued that they should be starting families instead. In a 2020 interview, JD even suggested that childless people aren't just hurting themselves, but the entire nation.
I worry that it makes people more sociopathic and ultimately our whole country a little bit less less mentally stable.
Usha was once a childless woman focusing on her career when she wasn't helping JD get through law school. In Hillbilly Elegy, JD described Usha as his Yale spirit guide. He also marveled over her intelligence, writing, "She instinctively understood the questions I didn't even know to ask, and she always encouraged me to seek opportunities that I didn't know existed." In fact, according to one former classmate, Usha, in her childless path to misery years, did a lot of heavy lifting for JD. The classmate told the Washington Post she unequivocally increased his odds of success.